Hi everyone, welcome back to Hope and Coffee. I'm Hope, and today we are back with the coffee, so no worries there. Please ignore the burn on my neck from my curling iron, I believe, yesterday. That is why my hair is not curled today. Not only did we have a storm come through and the humidity has been ridiculous, my curls decided they did not want to stay, so this is what we are left with. As we can see, roots are starting to come through a little bit, so that is okay. We're going to give them a little bit longer before we decide to address that situation. But otherwise, we are back at it with a couple more interesting topics that I have run across to see if y'all want to have a discussion about them. But honestly, the one that I kind of ran across today, and I thought this was really relevant as it comes to this 90-day reboot and the fact that I not too long ago pushed out one about cleaning out my closet, is that this one came from Forbes magazine, and it was just on my Google News topic. So if y'all are ever wondering where I pull some of these articles from, usually they're on my Google News. Now, when I go to googlenews.com, it's like news.google.com, it'll have like all the different, like, world news and global news and all this sort of stuff. Like world and global are the same thing, but like local, and then it'll have like entertainment and health and all these different little categories. Well, there's usually a section if you're logged in that says for you. Like I've said in the past, it's kind of figured out my algorithm based on things that I click on and things that I interact with. And so some of those things are either related to health, wellness, organization, home decor, things of those natures. And so this particular article was about both home decor, but actually a little bit about health and wellness as well. So this particular article was, like I said, from Forbes magazine, and it was about how decluttering your home can give your brain almost an instant boost, almost as though it is an avenue towards kind of cleaning out your, it's kind of like a clean slate. It's like cleaning that slate. And maybe saying that out loud sounds fairly logical, but the article goes into depth. And the reason I brought this up is because I think it goes back to those not only to my 90-day reboot, like I said, but those 8 avenues of wellness, especially the environmental avenue of wellness. Because, again, where we live, our space, our personal space, like inside of it as well as like outside of it, is considered our environment, the environment that we dwell in on a day-to-day basis. So when I come home from work and I enter through the door of my front door, I want to feel at ease when I walk in my front door. I want to feel at peace. I don't want to be confronted with clutter and chaos, or feeling like I instantly have to do anything. And so that's kind of what this article is kind of talking about. And so what I will do is I'm going to try to link the link to this article down below, for those who want to read the actual article. Now, sorry. I don't actually subscribe to Forbes, so I was really only able to get like a bit of a sneak peek of this article. Now, I think you do have to have like a full subscription to maybe get the full thing, or you only get like a certain number of free articles before you have to start paying for subscriptions. So totally up to you. But again, this is me trying to kind of be brief and give a summary about it. But the article references things that we've touched on, and I wanted to go into further detail about how decluttering your space is also able to help declutter your mind as well. And according to this article in the Forbes magazine, it can help alleviate some mental stresses and can possibly alleviate some symptoms of fatigue and depression by physically removing some of those obstacles in your path. Now, it may not seem as though it'll work, but when we actually have physically less stuff around us, such as the clutter, we are often better able to function and process with what's going on around us. Now, they didn't mention anything about people who have like high functioning ADHD who tend to thrive in those slightly chaotic environments, but according to the Journal of Neuroscience, who are referenced in this particular article, they suggest that our environment can be something that limits our mental capacity. So the more stuff we have going on around us, the less things we're actually able to focus on. So even though in a space you may know where your stuff is, when you actually put it away, they say you are better able to function whenever you are actually like in your space. So that is kind of what they're talking about. So the final paragraph, and again, I'm not going into like the full article. I only wanted to give you a sneak peek about it and kind of see what your thoughts about it were, and kind of give you my thoughts about it, because I too feel like this is pretty relevant, and I see this as being a valuable tool of keeping clutter down in your space. It was something that my mom did, just kind of keeping clutter at bay, especially in our home. And I try to do in my own home as well, is at the end of the night, I try to just tidy up a little bit, make sure things are just simply put away. Kind of that mindset of why not now? Like instead of putting it off for later, like why not now? And so if I have something like a coffee cup sitting on the coffee table or something that needs to be thrown away, I've kind of gotten into the mindset of why not now? Why not doing it now instead of like in an hour or in 5 minutes or tomorrow? Because it's the same thing if I do it now versus later. And then the clutter will be gone. So, but the final paragraph talks about how cleaning our space isn't just for the physical benefits of keeping the clutter at bay, or if it's like refuse, like wrappers or anything like that. It keeping smells at bay, or even possibly pests or anything of that nature. It's more about the benefits of tidiness and how that links to your mental health. If you've ever watched an episode of Hoarders, now this was not part of the article, but this is how I kind of equate it. If you've ever watched an episode of Hoarders, and I think it's available on YouTube as well, that you may know and recognize that Hoarders is an incredibly extreme case of people who have mental inability to see their situations as a problem. Now, they're the extreme. They are the level of a chaotic environment that has gotten way too out of control, and they have just learned to live with it. Now, I am not in any way saying that this is where anybody on this, like watching this, is at. However, what I'm saying is their mental bandwidth has grown with their level of chaos. So they can only see so much of it. And even though we as the outside can see their environments, they can't perceive it in the same way we do. And so we see that their minds are scattered and that they're disorganized and they're focused on unimportant things as we watch these episodes, and they're unable to actually cope with the full scope of their own situations. However, the act of organizing is not only addressing the stress itself head on, but it's also alleviating it and promoting a sense of well-being while bringing lightness back into the world by taking that burden off the shoulders and by rejuvenating and decluttering and bringing back some positive mental health in order to relieve that stress and ultimately be able to find help and see where you were and where you are now. So I just thought that was a really great article. Again, I'm going to try to link it down below. And if you think it was helpful, awesome. Hey, and your environment is one of your avenues of wellness, and I think it's really important. I try to keep mine pretty organized, but hey, let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you all on the next page. Have a great one.